Hey, what's up guys? And first of all, I've noticed some of the series that you guys, well, they're not keeping you guys entertained. And that's what I'm here for guys, to keep you guys entertained, but some of them are not really doing that. So I'm gonna be canceling some of them guys that you guys really seem to, well, dislike a lot. However, you don't have to worry because I'm here with new series. I'm seeing that most of you aren't watching some of them because, well, you don't like them. And you want something fresh, something new. I'm gonna be continuing some of them, but some of them are gonna be cancelled, guys. But yeah, just know I'll be informing you on which one I'm not gonna be posting. So yeah, I'll be leaving everything for you guys and go ahead and check it out. But I'm gonna be giving you a brand new series now. What if Naruto got a godly Forbidden Bloodline, guys? So yeah, guys, it's gonna be dangerous. Something that the world would kill for. Yeah, people would hunt him for if they found out. And yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So just sit back, relax, and I really hope that you guys enjoy. So without further ado, what is we jump right into this new episode, guys. Begin now. First of all, before you jump into this, know this guys, the world is going to be a bit different. Not in terms of ninja wise, but there's going to be a lot more people, like in terms of clans. In this, the clans are not destroyed, especially the ones that went to Kiri, and most of them did not merge. So the hidden villages are most likely not a thing. Yeah, they're not a thing. But majority of the clans are going to be on their own. Some of them that are close friends will be staying nearby, but most of them are going to be out in the distance, being by themselves, like the Hagoromo clan, the Kaguya clan, and all that, guys. So know this, the clans are not going to be merged. Only a select few will be merged, but the hidden villages like the Leaf, the Stone Kiri, those things are not going to really be a thing. Well, mostly. But yes, Naruto is still at Uzumaki, and everything, well, you guys will be seeing that down below, so just stay tuned and I hope you guys enjoy. So without further ado, what do you say we just jump right into it, guys? The land of the whirlpools. It wasn't what many might imagine. It wasn't a singular land. It was one gigantic land surrounded by a cluster of islands. In between these islands were the whirlpools that the area was famous for. It was a central island where the Uzumaki Clan made their home. It was a nice tropical island surrounded by a warm ocean, currents, and they occasionally got cold winds from the coast blowing in. The island was split down the middle by a mountain. On one side, the eastern half was a heavily forest area, and the western half is where the Uzumakis built their homes, mainly filled with tall spirals, the largest being where the clan head resided, which is a huge tower emblazoned with the Uzumaki symbol with rare red rocks that they got from around the islands. At the moment, a young child, he jumped in the air, dodging a kick that came toward his face. However, that was a mistake, as a fist smacked right into his stomach, sending him flying back as he skid away, ripping up grass in the process as he tried to slow down his momentum. He looked angrily up at the man, his scarlet hair flashing within the sun. The man had violet eyes looking down at him. He was dressed in a light blue kimono, decorated with small, red swords of the Uzumaki clan. Naruto was dressed more simply. Blue sandals, black shorts, and a dark blue shirt, which of course had a giant spiral in the back. The Uzumaki signature. Not good enough, Naruto. You should have gained distance by leaping back out of my range and reevaluating your options. A harsh, male voice scolded him. How am I supposed to know that if you don't tell me, said Naruto angrily back. You're slacking off on your studies again, the man accused, pointing angrily at the blonde-haired boy. Return to studying at the clan library. We shall continue your taijutsu training tomorrow, he commanded before he turned and left Naruto. Naruto slammed his fist into the ground angrily. As he pulled himself up, he was muddy, dirty, beaten, and most of all embarrassed. As he took off in the trees in order to get back to the village. It was a short run towards the eastern side of the island. The Uzumaki home were small but well defended, considering that pretty much every person on the island is a ninja or a former ninja, so each person could defend themselves when needed. What made the land of whirlpool truly impenetrable was the whirlpools that formed, the natural whirlpools that came to them as a defense. There was also numerous outposts on the small island front, which would contain a full squad of ninja, but that was just a smokescreen. The Uzumaki's real hidden weapon was their extremely powerful sensory ninja, who they had kept secret at all costs. Let the rest of the world fear their fuin jutsu and powerful water jutsus, while they will never know about any sensory ninja that would pick them up the moment they got close. This was Naruto home, the place that he's been living for the last 12 years. This village was well off more than most other clans in the world, given the isolation, making it one of the safest places to live in the entire world. As he arrived towards a tall building, that was his home. Almost every building was tall. They didn't have a lot of room width-wise, so they had to build the buildings going up, making it look like a village of spires. The largest was a clan head building. Naruto kicked off his blue sandals. "I'm home," he said. "Welcome home," a cheery female voice said from the kitchen. As Naruto came in and sat down as he was sulking, his eyes trying to burn a hole through the ground with his glare. The woman came from the kitchen. She, of course, had bright red hair with violet eyes. She was dressed modestly, with black sandals, dark blue pants, and a long sleeve white shirt. She had a white apron over it, with the Uzumaki emblem over it. She's Uzumaki Clan. She was Naruto's aunt, sister to his mother, Kushina Uzumaki. She had married young and to another distant cousin in the Uzumaki clan called Uzumaki Kai, who was deployed on a mission at the moment. "Oh, Naruto-kun, was Arashi-san being harsh on you again?" Chinamai asked as she sat next to him and pat his head trying to comfort him. "He's an asshole," said Naruto. Chinamai pulled one of his ears. "Naruto-kun, that is not very nice. Arashi-san does have your best interest at heart," she said to him as she got to her feet. As she started to walk back to the kitchen, "We're having miso ramen," she said. That made him perked up. Miso ramen was his favorite meal. He remembered when his mother would make it for him. There was a few minutes of silence as Naruto was sitting down, calming himself down until the door opened. "I'm home." "Welcome home," said Chinamai in a cheery tone. And in walked in his cousin, Uzumaki Karen. She was the same age as him. She has the same hair as her mother, but her eyes were red instead, as she was wearing the traditional outfit for a Uzumaki sensor, a light blue battle kimono decorated with red swirls on it. Once she saw Naruto sitting down, with a look on his face, she smirked at him. "Well, well," she said, "let me guess. Arashi-san kicked your ass around in the dirt, didn't he?" "Screw off, Karen," he said, looking away. "Well, maybe if you were a better student, he wouldn't have to spend much time with you." Naruto got up as he just walked away, making his way up the stairs. "Karen," Chinamai said as she swatted their daughter a bit. "That was not a nice way to talk to your cousin." "But Mom, he's so annoying. He doesn't even read anything. And Arashi-san is always talking about how disappointing he is as a student. And he doesn't even look like us," Karen said, as her mother frowned deep into everything that she said. "Karen, Naruto has lost his mother, and I lost a sister. He is still grieving, just like I am, so have patience. And just help him if he needs it. Even though he has blonde hair, he is still a Uzumaki, just like Kushina was." She said to her daughter as Karen lowered her head. "Okay," she said. "Alright, good. Now, we're having miso ramen today," she told Karen. As for Naruto, he flopped down on his bed as he just stared at the wooden ceiling. He brought a hand up as he covered his eyes. He heard what Karen said to his aunt, and on some level she was right. His father was someone that he had never met, and only heard the occasional rumors about. Minato Namikaze, who had earned an S-rank designation and been nicknamed the Yellow Flash for his impressive speed, and recreating the elite Tobirama Senju Hiroshin Jutsu from mere fragments that he got after working with the Senju clan itself, one of the most powerful clans in the world. His father had got famous for that technique. However, he also earned the hatred of the Senju clan, saying that he had basically stolen a hidden jutsu from a famous clan, and yet he was still alive and free. His mother often talked about him. She was always starry-eyed and happy. It was Minato blonde hair and blue eyes that Naruto got, making him standing out from the rest of the Uzumaki clan, and pretty much an outcast because of that. His mother had been a high-ranking member of the Uzumaki clan. She was well regarded due to her inheriting the unique chakra of the clan, as well for her being one of the best in Ninjutsu. Even her unique ninjutsu, despite not being unorthodox, was worth respect amongst the entire clan. The main thing that he inherited from her was his large amount of chakra, as Naruto knew deep down that the unskilled child born from skilled parents was true, because his taijutsu was more like a brawler than the smooth fighting style of the Uzumakis. His ninjutsu was his best subject. He had mastered all the basics of the water jutsus that was taught to ever soon to be Uzumaki ninja. His genjutsu was non-existent though. He could identify if he was caught in one, and he could dispel it. But that was all he was capable of in the art of illusions. His Fuinjutsu, which was the pride of the clan, his was average. He was not amazing at it, but he wasn't terrible. He was just average. He could understand why Arashi was so hard on him. 2 years ago, the man's son had died outside on a mission, and ever since, Arashi had become hard and cold. He was determined not to send out any Uzumaki children if they were not prepared. Because of this, he was well regarded by the adults for his harsh training, which turned out fully fledged ninjas. But he was also feared and hated by students for what he made them did, and just how hard it was. Arashi was a harsh man who expected perfection from his students, and it showed in his results. His weaker students were given to other teachers to make them at least standard, enough to be outside, as Naruto just wanted to sleep this entire year away. So far it's been nothing but horrible. Naruto, dinner's ready. Chimera called down from downstairs. As Naruto sighed, well, at least there was a few things for dear to enjoy. His aunt ramen wasn't as good as his mom, but it was close enough, as he made his way downstairs. The next day, the Eastern Forest. Naruto had tried to stay in the library, but it was just so boring, reading about how the Uzumakis fought with grace and smoothness, moving like the flow of water. Well, he couldn't do it, so it was getting on his nerves as well. So he decided to look around for any new Fuinjutsu, and he had learned how to make his explosive tags, which was pretty cool. But he had to practice it alone, and from anyone else as well. There was no ninjutsu that he could have learned. Most of the ninjutsu in the library was the clan basic stuff. The more advanced stuff was taught from sensei to students, so he had no luck in that subject. And he had no talent for genjutsu, so he didn't even bother to try, as he decided to practice his new knowledge of making things explode, as he went to the eastern side of the island for some privacy, as he found a nice hidden clearing at the bottom of a circular rock. It was very small, but there was a tree stump he could sit on, and many small rocks to experiment on with his new explosive seals. He carefully traced out the seal on a small rock, making sure the ink was not running and that the lines were perfectly stable. Fuinjutsu was fun, but it was also pretty dangerous. Usually he was not allowed to practice it on his own, and he should have constant supervision while doing anything regarding Fuinjutsu. However, he was sick of everyone in the village at the minute, so he was just gonna have to take that risk. Yeah, that looked good, he said to himself, looking over the explosion seal as he nodded his head. He didn't create a full-blown explosive seal, instead he did a weaker version that only had 1/10 of the power of a normal explosive tag that the Uzumakis produce in the hundreds each day. Some of them were sold to the other clans, most are stockpiled, and some were distributed between the other clan members. He gathered chakra into his finger and pressed against a rock as the seal started to light up blue. As it started to activate, it started to crackle. At that moment, Naruto realized he did something wrong. He had put too much chakra into the seal, even though it was a tiny amount. The seal that he wrote could not take that much without becoming unstable, so he chucked it towards the rock formation near him. But he felt like it was a good distance enough, which he was wrong. The thing exploded, throwing him off his feet as he fell over. Ah, damn it, that sucks, said Naruto as he pulled himself up, dusting himself off. His eyes widened when he saw a gigantic hole in the rock formation that looked like a cave. Wait, That is a cave, he thought. As he stepped forward, it seems like a cave was covered up by that rock. His curiosity got the better of him, and he had to see what was inside. So he decided to explore the dark cave. As he went in, the natural rocky surface gave way. The smooth, pristine ground, showing that someone had used an earth jutsu to create this cave this deep. As Naruto knew that he should go back to the village and tell someone, the worst it could be was a hidden base from an enemy clan that would get him killed. As he went further and further, the place started to get too dark for him to see. However, it lit up. There was many seals along the wall that react to his presence, guiding him deeper and deeper. As the light behind him would go off when he went past certain points, and more in front of him started to flip on. What the hell is that, Naruto asked himself. As he came to the end of the cave, it was a giant door made of steel itself. It seemed to be rusting. How the hell do I open something like that, he thought to himself, as he started to pace back in front until he paused. Maybe give it a push, he thought to himself, as he went up and pushed with both hands. But it was useless. It was not budging. He decided to pump chakra into his hands. He grit his teeth and started to push. He then noticed that he could see the light, despite his eyes being closed. It was so blinding. As Naruto backed away, the entire door was now giving off a faint, glowing light. Several seal arrays were on it as they started to click open, like a lock being unlocked. The doors started to screech as they were pulled apart, before they swung open inwards. As Naruto stepped forward, it looked like a building, rather than a cave inside. Is this a secret base or something, he thought to himself. As he looked around, well, might as well finish exploring. As he shrugged and just kept on moving. As he walked into the corridor, he had to jump, as everything just went lit up in 1 second. The place was white, and he could see the lights at the end, so this place wasn't as long as the cave before. As he kept on walking until he came towards a strange lab, with huge equipments, jars, and different things that he had no clue about. But what drew his attention was a chair, as there was many tubes running into a person. Their skin was pale, like completely white, and looked malnourished. Maybe they were dead, he thought to himself, as he stepped forward looking at the corpse. So, you have finally found your way down here, young Uzumaki. An extremely raspy voice spoke up, like the person hadn't spoken in years. The person that he thought was dead slowly opened his eyes to reveal dark purple eyes. Come and let me see you, he said. Naruto hesitantly walked forward. There was a gigantic container behind the man, with a strange red liquid being pumped into him, as Naruto hoped it wasn't blood. You're Uzumaki, but you lack the hair color. How unnatural. Normally, the red hair gene is dominant, despite the other inheritance, the man said. Yeah, like I haven't heard that one before, said Naruto, as he was a bit annoyed. You take it as an insult, but you should not. Change is a good thing even amongst the other smaller clans. His ancient face broke into a grin. Who are you? Said Naruto. I am one of your kinsmen, Uzumaki Hiroko. Like you, I was born different. I've never heard of you, said Naruto. Only the man's eyes and mouth was moving, as Naruto has never heard of a person in the clan with the name Hiroko, or anything about the ancestor of his kind. Of course, you wouldn't have. I left behind no descendants or legacy for the clan. I said I was born different. Do you know what that difference is? He asked, with a dusty chuckle. No, said Naruto. I was born with a weak body and chakra, something that is rare for our clan, with our ancestor being the Kusanadin. As Naruto tilted his head, Kusanadin? The name kind of sounds like his mom's name. However, he has never really heard about their clan historian or ancestors way back. Oh, they don't even tell you about that now, huh? Fools. Kusanadin was the daughter of the Sage of Six Paths, his only daughter, while his two sons fought over inheritance and ideals. His daughter saw their volley, and instead she came here to the land of Pools, away from the fighting brothers, to create neutrality between her own family. As Naruto gaped, he never heard that story before. Wow. Indeed, Hiroko said. So why are you here? Even if you were born weaker than everyone else, you could have joined the Historians or the Fuinjutsu development team. I did do exactly that. The Historians was where I learned the truth. And it was in the Fuinjutsu development team that I created my own jutsu. Huh? What's that? Said Naruto. The Chimera Jutsu. Even in the top echelons. Sometime Naruto heard whispers from the top. He'd never heard of the Chimera Jutsu. Now my turn for questions, young one. What is your name? And how did you find this place? Well, I'm Uzumaki Naruto. And I found this place after accidentally blowing up the entrance. Because I was messing about with the explosive seal. Naruto said, slightly embarrassed. He scratched the back of his head. I see, the old man said as he went into deep thought. Naruto could not hear what he was saying as he was mumbling lowly to himself. He then looked up, looking right at Naruto, his eyes moving upwards. I suppose it's time. Uzumaki Naruto, come here, he said. Naruto did not want to, but he did so anyway. The man gestured from left his right hand, as Naruto did. The man then reached out, his hand taking a moment to reach Naruto as he held his wrist. It was then that Naruto felt it. The man's chakra rushed through his arm and run through his body. Ow, said Naruto, releasing a small grunt of pain that flashed through his body very quickly. Ah, I see, Hiroko said, as he let go. What the hell was that? Said Naruto. I was scanning your body. I wish to gain an understanding of your stamina, abilities, and chakra. Hiroko said with a strange look in his eyes. You have an exceptional, resilient body, and a very powerful chakra despite being so young. Indeed, I would say that you are a near perfect example of what the Uzumaki Clan should be. Okay, said Naruto, a bit confused and scared as well. I will tell you about the Chimera Jutsu, Hiroko said. What? Why? After you acted so weird and avoided talking about it, said Naruto. Because the Chimera Jutsu requires the user to be strong in both body and chakra. You see my state. It's a result of me having a weak body and using it. However, you could master it and complete it, Hiroko said. As Naruto was taken aback, this old man was almost dead and needed machines to stay alive, and that was because of a simple jutsu. The Chimera Jutsu require one simple principle that it operates on. To take anything beneficial and fuse it with your body. It is the answer I reach after despairing about my weakness and lack of unique factors. This ninjutsu is the ultimate fusion of Fuinjutsu, medical ninjutsu, and of course, regeneration jutsu. It is a kenjutsu of the highest order. When I revealed it to the clan head all those years ago, he called me a monster and forbid me from ever using it again, Hiroko said. What? Said Naruto, surprised. That was a lot to take in. This dude invented a jutsu so powerful. It was turned into a forbidden jutsu. There was only a few forbidden jutsu, one of them being Tobirama Edo Tensei. The other clans were angry about that, and that is why it became a forbidden jutsu as they threatened to attack the Senju clan. Seeing that the jutsu involved raising one's loved one back from the dead, people didn't like that one bit, especially if they were not real. They were just ghosts in the bodies of corpses. My Chimera Jutsu was created to give me chakra and uniqueness. As such, the main effect of the jutsu is the complete absorption of a person's chakra and taking their Keki Genkai. Hiroko said. You can steal Keki Genkai? Said Naruto, as he was in shock. Oh yes, young Naruto, my Chimera Jutsu absorb another person's Keki Genkai. It also absorbs your chakra and add it to your capacity. It is the ultimate strength ninjutsu, unsurpassed in any way. Hiroko boasted. With your body, I have no doubt that you'll be able to complete the jutsu and take in 5 Keki Genkai, unlike my weak body that could only take in 1 single Keki Genkai. And the chakra I absorbed, it crippled me. Wait, 5? Said Naruto. Indeed, I was only able to absorb the Jinten, otherwise known as a swift release, and it near killed me to do so, and left me in this wretched state, he said bitterly, looking towards a machine that was hovering above him. So if it lets you absorb good things, why didn't you use it on me and get your body stronger? Hiroko started to laugh as he descended into a coughing fit. I can't, he said. It would end up killing both of us. I am too old and too weak to even attempt such a thing. There will be no point, he said, as he was able to get his coughing fit under control. And now you want me to learn it, said Naruto. In a skeptic way, he asks. Yes, you shall be my legacy upon the world. I shall teach you the Chimera Jutsu, and you shall go out in the world and complete your body at its maximum potential. After you can take in 5 Kekkei, which will no doubt make you, if not the strongest in the world at least. One of them having access to all 5 basic transformation, as well as the Kekkei themselves, will make you very dangerous. Hiroko said, trying to bait him into taking the offer. Whoa, said Naruto as he thought about the possibilities. Indeed, this will be the jutsu that will take you to the height of being a ninja. Okay, I'll do it, said Naruto. He'd been the laughing stock of the Uzumaki Clan for far too long. Fantastic, Hiroko said, as he sat up straight. The Chimera Jutsu was difficult to create due to the complexity required. However, I had 40 years to think about it and how to refine it. I should be able to teach it to you in around a month. What? That's a long time for a single jutsu, said Naruto. This is a S-rank jutsu that was created from the knowledge of 3 different ninja disciplines. Of course, it will take a long time to master. Well, we might as well get started now then, said Naruto, as he was resigned to his fate for the foreseeable future. Well, now the Chimera Jutsu involved inscribing your entire body with Fuinjutsu. This is to streamline the entire process, and it avoid wasting time for the ritual. This is what you need to learn and perfect. As he unsealed a scroll out of his hand, it appeared right in the center of his palm. Okay, so this is step 1, said Naruto, taking the scroll. What happened next? The next step will be going over the hand signs in sequence, and of course practicing the jutsu without true activation, because the jutsu activate in stages. As Naruto started to read through the scroll. So what are these stages then, he asks. Stage 1 is scanning. The person's body is scanned, and the information is fed directly to you because of the Fuinjutsu on your body. Stage 2 is draining. You drain the entire amount of chakra from the individual body. This process destroys the victim coils and chakra circulatory system. Then we move on to stage 3. The absorption of DNA and genes that is needed to use the Kekkei, and then the victim body is destroyed completely in the process, which decay their body at an abnormal rate. What? That's dark and weird, said Naruto, as he heard what the man was telling him. No, there is no ingestion of materials. It is done purely through Fuinjutsu, which is made up of my knowledge of medical ninjutsu. I told you that this is a complex technique, and creating it require a large amount of knowledge across the board of all the basic elements and the theories of chakra and the other main elements of what makes up a ninja. The Chimera Jutsu is the most distilled and pure that I could make it. There is absolutely no complete absorption of the body like it was when I first created it. Now all you need is a physical contact with a body that has chakra within it, Hiroko said. Wait, does that mean I can use it on a dead body, said Naruto. Only one that has just recently died and still has chakra inside of it. When a person dies, their chakra evaporates after death. I estimate that the Chimera Jutsu will have to be used within an hour after death. Gross, said Naruto in a childish tone. This is a world that we live in, and no matter what, we have to make the best of what we are born with. This is my solution. Without ninja powers in this world, you cannot protect anything, let alone your life, Hiroko said, as Naruto went about studying the scroll, until it became rather dark, so he had to head home. Later that night, Uzumaki village. Naruto was tired both physically and mentally. His wrist was still throbbing. Hiroko demanded perfection, as he had him write the seal over and over and over again. He was exhausted physically with that and the mental information that he was given. The jutsu had to be done perfect, otherwise it would fail. As Naruto was walking, his senses, they screamed at him as he spun. He dodged the punch, however, his right arm was grabbed, yanking him up as he almost screamed. Naruto! A male voice shouted at him. You're alive, he said, still holding on to Naruto's arm. Yeah, it's me. What the hell is wrong with you? Said Naruto as he struggled to get out of the man's grip. We thought that you died or that you were taken by another clan, the man said, letting go of him. As Naruto rubbed his wrists. Why the hell do you think that? We need to take him to Shinjun-sama, another said, walking up. As Naruto recognized all of them, Kenryu, Suda, and Yuda. They are a part of the main defense team, stationed on the island that they call home. What's wrong with you people? Why do I have to see the clan head, said Naruto. We need to go now, said Yuda, as his eyes were scanning from left to right constantly. Kenryu and Suda grabbed onto Naruto's hand as he sunshine away with him. Time skip Uzumaki Head Tower. As Naruto was forced inside the main building, it was well decorated, showing the wealth of the small clan. Paintings of the great battles that the clan had won, photos of the past leaders on the wall, and a decorative samurai armor that was probably worth more than anything else on this island. Uzumaki Naruto, the dark, foreboding voice of Uzumaki Shinsen, rang out in the office. Uzumaki Shinsen was a true rarity in the ninja world. A old ninja, he was a grandfather. There were streaks of white in his hair. Even though his face still looked relatively young, he looked like a man in his 40s despite being an 80-year-old man, clad in a bright scarlet kimono that was decorated with their clan symbol. It was said to be the original kimono that was worn by the first leaders of the clan, as Naruto now knew that that was a woman kimono, given what he was told by Hiroko, who was the first leader of the clan. Next to him was the next leader of the clan. His name was Nagato Uzumaki, a man in his 30s that looked like he was in his 20s. He was clad in a simple black kimono, and of course, peering out from his bangs were the mythical Rinnegan. Powerful eyes they were. As Naruto turned, Shinzen-sama, he said, bowing his head. Rise. Explain yourself. I don't know what you mean, said Naruto. You went missing after leaving the library. Last seen exiting the village, heading towards the eastern forest. And after, there was a pulse of chakra picked up by almost every sensor ninja in the village. So tell me, what did you do? Shinsen said. I just went out to practice in the forest. I don't know anything about the chakra pulse, said Naruto. Do not lie to me, boy. Arashi ordered you to practice taijutsu. But you were seen in the Fuinjutsu section of the library, Shinzen said. As Naruto frowned, seeing that he was caught. I was learning about the explosive seals, and I went in the forest to practice it. I was drawing it on rocks, and throwing them and blowing things up. Shinzen looked at Naruto. So you, a mediocre practitioner of Fuinjutsu, learn a seal above your level, and went to practice it in secret. Yes, said Naruto. A clear and blatant violation of the rules, Shinzen said. Shinzen-sama, a soft voice spoke up, as Nagato had rose. Naruto-kun is young and brash. Perhaps a small punishment is due, instead of a reprimand. Shinzen regarded what Nagato told him, as he was silent for a few moments. Very well. You are the future clan head. Nagato, I shall leave this up to you. As Nagato nodded, Come, Naruto-kun, he said. As they left the room, nothing was said. As the door shut, it was only when they reached the streets, Nagato finally spoke. Naruto-kun, you really should not do things like this. It causes problem for more than just you. Nagato says he came to a stop and turned to face him. I know, but sometimes Naruto trailed off, uncertainly, unable to look Nagato within the eyes. Sometimes you just want to run away, and have some time alone, Nagato said, with a soft smile on his face. As Naruto just nodded, I know how you feel, Naruto, but this is the world that we live in. The clan must come first, especially the clan defense. So all you have to do is the best that you can. It shouldn't be, said Naruto. I know, said Nagato. Well, take this as a reprimand, and your punishment shall be cleaning duty for a week. No training until you clean. As Naruto simply nodded. Thanks, Nagato-sama, he said, as he ran on home. As Nagato watched him run off, with a sad smile. In another world, he thought to himself, as he felt the dread seep into his bones. Something was coming, he thought. Something was coming. He could feel it. Time skip. Naruto had a grin on his face, as he looked towards the old man. So I managed to learn it after all, he said. Indeed you have, though your smug attitude is unbecoming, Hiroko said. Well, I was able to do it under a month, said Naruto. Barely, said Hiroko. Naruto's smile slipped when he heard that, as he started to look a bit more bashful. Listen, Naruto, I don't have much time left now, even with my life support, Hiroko said, sounding weak. My body was never strong, and even with this advanced life support machine created by the White Snake, my body won't even last to the end of the month. It seems the only part that he could really move now was his mouth. White Snake? Naruto questioned. Naruto, he said, my final warning is this. You must only use the Chimera Jutsu when you're in a safe place where you're unlikely to be attacked. Even if your body is strong and resilient, not even you are above the agony of a merging process, and it will leave you defenseless afterwards. As the man's voice is getting weaker and weaker. You're dying, said Naruto, his face losing that jovial look. Of course I am. I'm a weak old man. I shouldn't have lived to see 40 and yet here I am, 51 years old. Most ninja before the Great War barely got to 30, and even with the war occurring, that only added 10 more years, and from what I was able to glean from the outside, the age rate is dropping back down to 30, Hiroko said in a weakening voice. He seemed to really hate the world that they live in. I hate this world and I hate the logic that rules it. The strong survive and the weak perish. It is disgusting. He spat out as the last flames of anger left him. As Naruto looked at the man, he was only 51, but he would look to be around 100 years old, with the deep wrinkles, his very pale skin, and his thin skeleton body, making him look very much older than he was. Remember my advice, Naruto. Go into this world and take the Genkais that you wish. Be free to not be tied down by such petty things, like the clan. Experience the world for yourself instead of just listening to an old man talk. Like you, said Naruto. Exactly, said Hiroko, with a small smile. This world needs a new path. Ninja clan fighting and killing each other. For uncaring daimyos and self-destructing. It will lead to a life of death for all ninjas, not just individual clans, but all ninjas. Go boy, see this world with your own eyes and make your own decisions. Be no man or lord puppet, Hiroko said. I'll stay here with you till the end. Heck, you taught me a lot, even Arashi said. I've improved a lot over the past few weeks. Naruto said, all from your work and determination, I simply showed you the method. It was you who applied it, my boy. Hiroko said, his voice weakening even more, as his breath was coming out shallow. Thank you. As Naruto did not say anything, he sat next to the man and held his thin, weak hand. As Naruto felt the man's pulse getting slower and slower, and slower until he couldn't feel it anymore. It took about 25 minutes. Goodbye, Hiroko, he said. Thank you for teaching me. As Naruto laid his hand over his chest, as he looked at the old man, he then walked over towards a giant, full-intricate seal on the machine that kept Hiroko alive. As Hiroko told him once he was gone, and after he learned the Jutsu, he should wipe this place off the map, erasing any evidence of the Jutsu, claiming that such a Jutsu would start a greater clan war between the clans, knowing that someone can take someone's Jutsu. The clans with Genkais would not tolerate it, and there will be another full-blown war. Naruto went through 5 hand signs. Activate Self-Destruction Seal. As he fed chakra into it, the room started to glow blue, brighter and brighter and brighter. As Naruto used the back entrance, Hiroko had sealed back up the first one after Naruto had entered. That is why the clan members could not find him. The Fuin Jutsu had a 10-second delay, as Naruto took off. Running at full speed, the rumbling began as rocks started to crush against rocks. Everything was being buried and it would be buried underground. It was ripping the entire area apart and driving the lab deep under the bedrock of the island. As Naruto jumped onto the ladder and leaped up. As he jumped away and everything was buried and pulled underneath the ground, Naruto looked down towards everything falling before he pushed a hidden steel plate and crawled out. He was now in the northern area of the island, as he could see the village from here. Even ninjas hopping over trees, making their way. Probably due to the minor earthquake he just caused by destroying the lab. Lucky Hiroko had taught him a clone jutsu so he could be in 2 places at once. As he took in a deep air, before he exhaled, tomorrow, he said. Time skip. It was still strange to see a copy of himself acting like himself, as the clone was placed in traps and seals on the walls on the outskirts. This was the basic grunt work for the younger ninjas of the clan. Anything to report? He asked his clone. No. Arashi has asked for us to train with him tomorrow. A test of taijutsu skill to see if we can go on missions outside the village. His clone reported back in a bored manner. As Naruto pulled a kuna and nipped his finger before, he held it out to the clone. Let's see for me then, he said. As the clone body broke apart into a red whips and flew into Naruto, right through the small cut on his finger. As Naruto went through all the memories, the blood clone jutsu was similar to the shadow clone jutsu, but it was rare. It involved cutting and taking blood from the body and shaping it with chakra, giving the clone a solid base so that he could take more than a simple hit, not like the normal shadow clone jutsu that was created by the Senju clan. And once it came back in the body, it will give back the memories. Well, I think that means I have to move up my plans then, said Naruto, as he opened his blue eyes and looked around the green forest. As Naruto knew since meeting Hiroko, he could not stay on the island and be a normal ninja for the clan. There are no Kekigenkai on the island, and most of all, he wanted to see the world with his own eyes and make his own choices how he live, rather than being at the beck and call of who was the clan leader. I'll say goodbye tonight and leave at dawn, Naruto said. Later that day, Uzumaki Clan my home. Karen was already home, sitting at the table waiting for dinner, as he could hear his aunt in the kitchen. Uncle Kai was still out on his mission. He'd heard that it was an assassination one. It was a quick dinner. Chanamai had made a beef ramen for a celebration of Naruto becoming a full ninja of the clan, which a month ago was not even being considered. However, training under Hiroko had made him far better than he used to be. To the rest of the clan, it seemed like he just matured and dedicated himself more to training, which was only half truth. As they were speaking about normal things, as Naruto was not really focused that much, Karen noticed that as she kept on glancing towards him. As Naruto smiled, as Chanamai picked up his empty ramen bowl. Thanks, auntie, he said to her. You're welcome, Naruto-kun, she said. What's got you so cheerful, Karen said, eyes peeking over her new rimmed glasses. Well, I become a proper ninja tomorrow after Arachi tests, said Naruto. Tuh, how did you even get good enough to pass? Last month you were barely scratching by. Karen said in a low tone so her mother would not hear her. I wouldn't worry about it, especially after tomorrow. Why? What are you planning, Karen said, looking at him with suspicion in her eyes. We all gotta grow up sometime, said Naruto. Good night. See you tomorrow, he said. There was a sad smile on his face, as he knew that it would be the last time. He didn't want to leave on bad terms of what was left with his mom family. Later that night, as Naruto strapped up his weapons in his pouches, as he stuffed his backpack with everything that he would need, as he strapped it to himself, he felt excited and terrified. This was no normal thing. Most who left their clan was marked for death, some of them hunted and killed by their clan. He hoped that since he was so young and untalented in their eyes, he would be left alone, or at least ignored, because in their eyes, he was no good anyway. Time to go, he said. It will only take him about 4 minutes. From there he will get towards the water and run across towards one of the outposts. He will then stop before swimming towards the mainland, since the sensor ninja won't be able to detect him when he apply a chakra suppressant seal. However, that will cost him. He won't be able to walk on water, so you have to get towards the mainland the old-fashioned way. However, one of the first things taught to a Uzumaki child was swimming. Everyone was asleep or busy with other things, so he had gotten out pretty well. And besides, he knew where all of the traps were, so it was child play for him to get out. However, no plan went perfectly, as someone was speeding towards him at high speeds. Damn it, he thought. Naruto, what the hell are you doing, said Karen, as she came to a stop behind him. She was dressed in her sleeping clothes. Her hair was a mess, as she was properly adjusting her glasses. Leaving, Naruto said simply. Do you even know what that means? You're gonna get marked for death and killed, you fool, she said. I know, but I need to go and see the world for myself. This is stupid, come home now, and I'll forget about this, she said. No, Karen. I'm an outsider here, said Naruto. I want to see the world with my own eyes. I want to explore and meet people, without fighting and killing, because the clan commands it. I want to be free, but most of all, I want to make the choice that my teacher could not make. What? Karen was confused. This was not the Naruto that she was used to. She was used to the dunce that barreled into anything like a bull. Not this one. You're my family, but I don't think that my place is here. Karen's confusion had dulled her sensuality just a bit. As she felt something, she turned, but it was too late as Naruto clone knocked her out. I'm sorry, but this is my choice. The clone placed her against a tree, pulled out a cloak and covered her with it, as he absorbed the clone. Time to go. As he rushed off, knowing that he only had a few minutes now to move. Time skip. On the outer lands, Naruto had to slow down a bit. Moving so fast across the outposts, he would definitely be noticed. That is why he had to calmly make his way. He found a cozy little cave at the edge of the island, so he sat down there and took a little break. I never realized how hard this was. I need some energy. He had pushed himself, getting here in half the time that he expected, as he pulled out 2 soldier pills and swallowed them, as he also has some nutrient bars as he munched down on them and drank a bottle of water. Dawn is in about 2 hours. I'll apply the chakra suppression seal now, and have a quick nap, and then I'll start the swim. As he rolled up the sleeve of his left arm as he uncorked a bottle and also a brush, as he started to apply the seal to his shoulder. Once he was finished, he felt his chakra being locked away, as he placed everything back before he used his backpack as a pillow as he lay down. He only had 1 hour and 40 minutes when the night sentries will be sleeping, and they will be doing their shift guard and changing, and the morning ones will be coming in. It was then that he had to move, so now he just had to wait. Hiroko had told him that, as it was his lessons, how he was able to get in and out without anyone noticing. And Hiroko didn't only just teach him that special jutsu, he taught him a few others that would be helpful for him out in the world, and also helping him with his side jutsu as well. From Arashi's teaching, Naruto had to master one thing before moving on to another, but Hiroko did not do it that way. He made Naruto focus on multiple things, getting him to understand, to split his attention. As Naruto was sure, the sweat and blood, the hard work will pay off, because the Chimera jutsu will make him one of the strongest ninjas in the world. Time skip. At dawn, the sun was just about to peek out as Naruto took off and made a beeline towards the trees. As Naruto came across the outposts, there was a sentry ninja right there, as he had to slow down, as he started to slowly crawl, making his way. As the new guards came in, "Morning, Kideshi," a male voice greeted from above Naruto. "Morning, Narisa," another greeted, as Naruto crawled like a worm. It will be the worst outcome if he got caught here. He had no doubt he would probably be dragged back to the village in chains, and probably be executed. As the two men were talking, anything interesting happened? Nah, it was a quiet night today, just some back and front. The further he got away, he was able to get up and start to crawl on his hands. Once he was sure that they weren't able to see him, Naruto got up as he took off. He then took in a very deep breath. He would have to swim underwater until he got out of range for the binocular teams, as the Uzumaki tactics was built in island ambush with their water surface around, so they were trained to hold their breath for a long time, which Naruto could do, as he submerged himself. After a good 10 minutes, Naruto felt his lungs burning. He needed oxygen. As he felt safe enough, as he pushed his head up, he took in deep breaths after being underwater for a good 10 minutes. Now that he was in the clear, he started to swim. As he sped through the water even without chakra, he was incredibly fast. This was one of the main reasons why no clan has attacked the Uzumaki Clan, as they realized attacking them would be a very stupid thing. It would be better to wait until the Uzumakis came on the main island. He swam for what felt like hours, until he saw land. As Naruto sped up, moving as fast as he could, rushing towards the land. The swim was tiring as Naruto landed on the ground. He pushed himself over as he landed on his back, taking in some deep air. He's been swimming for hours. He was exhausted. "I'm free," he said, as he looked up towards the sky. This will be the start of his journey. The outcast of the Uzumaki Clan, he was entrusted with Hiroko, life work. It will be right here where the legend of Naruto, the Chimera, will begin. The legend that will become far greater than those before him. But for now, he was a boy that needed sleep, food, and water. Otherwise, he would die. Time skip. "Here you go, Naruto-kun," the kindly fisherwoman said as she placed a bowl of rice in front of the young child. "Thank you, Chito-san," said Naruto. It was a simple meal, but Naruto was hungry and it was delicious. He was lucky that he was phoned by a fisherman called Kazuma, who was on the port about to fish, taking the delirious young boy back to his home, where his wife was, Chito's. The pair were an old couple. The woman had kind black eyes, and she was dressed simply, as he could see a few strands of white hair. Kazuma was old but he was strong. He had lost his hair, but only his wrinkle gave away his age. As Naruto had spoke to them, he had learned that all of their 4 children had been born in this home and they had left. The eldest son had left to find work at the capital. The eldest daughter had married a merchant and left for more profited areas. Their younger son became a fisherman like his father, but he moved into his own home with his wife and his youngest daughter, and the youngest wanted to marry a man in the village and move out as well. As Naruto could tell that the couple was lonely, so he played the part of a grateful orphan. He had felt bad about lying to them, but since he was a missing nin now, he needed to lie to protect himself and them from any Uzumaki Clan member searching for him. "You have such a large stomach, Naruto-kun." Chito's teaser remark knocked him out of his thoughts. "I'm a growing boy," he said, as he placed on the rice bowl. "Of course you are," she said. She took the bowl to wash it. "Kazuma should be out in the open sea now," she said, as she looked through the small window. "Yeah, catching a lot of fish," said Naruto as he stood up and stretched. "Even after all these years, I still feel fear that he won't come back," Chito said sadly. "Don't worry, Chito-san. Kazuma-san is not the kind of person to be reckless or being caught doing something stupid. He had only been a guest here for 2 days, but he had noticed that about the man. Of course, he's been fishing for decades now," she said. "So tell me, where are you going to go, Naruto-kun?" she said. As the both of them walked out, they were greeted by a beautiful small fishing village. "This is an amazing view," said Naruto. "Yes, it's why we came here," Chito said as she looked over her home. "So you didn't answer my question," she said, as she couldn't help but worry about him. "Well, I'll probably go deeper into the continent and look for some work. It's dangerous. Furthermore, the ninja clans have started to fight again. I'm scared that a new war will break out. And you know how violent ninjas can be. They are rather destructive." As Naruto knew what she was talking about, before he was born, a war broke out between ninja clans, and the world was consumed in blood, fighting, and death. The Uzumaki clan tried to stay neutral, but they were still pulled into it. Luckily, their casualties were low, compared to some other clans. "I know it's been long enough for the number of ninjas to rise once again," said Naruto, as he looked towards the sea, as his mood was soured by that. "Oh, I'm sorry. Just ignore the rambling of an old woman," said Chito, as she noticed his mood. "It's okay," said Naruto, giving her a smile. "Well, don't worry too much about it. Even if ninjas are coming back, the land is mostly peaceful since the daimyo has samurais patrolling the road now," she said. "Don't worry about me," said Naruto. "I can take care of myself. I'll be out of here soon," he said. She did not say anything, but a small sad smile came in her face as she went to prepare dinner for her husband and her house guests. As Naruto looked across the sea, "I've made my choice now. There's no going back, so I should just concentrate on the task at hand," he told himself, glaring out at the sea. Later that day, as Naruto ate dinner with a nice couple, he went to see if there was any other ninja around. Once he was certain that was not the case, he was the only one here, he decided to head back. He had removed all clan markings to make sure that no one would spot him, knowing that he was from the Uzumaki clan, because that would just start war between him and another clan member if they were violent. As he jumped up in a tree, feeling a cool breeze wash over him, he decided to rest right here until his nose picked up on smoke. He turned as he saw black smoke in the distance. He seemed to be frozen on the spot before he rushed off where the smoke was coming from. As Naruto started to slow down when he felt the chakra, "Fire style! Flame bullets!" he heard a voice shouted out. Flames erupted from Ninja Mount and burned one of the wooden buildings. As Naruto swallowed, when he saw the symbol, the curved horn, it was a Hagoromo clan. At a young age, they were all taught about the other clans around the world. These guys were known to be within land of fire. "Please, stop this!" an anguished voice ringed out. As Naruto froze when he saw a young woman. He had seen her around the village, now she was covered in ash. Her younger brother was holding her back as she was crying. "You did not pay the protection fee, and this is the result." As Naruto saw another Hagoromo clansman who was dressed in a more lavish way than his clanman. "The Hagoromo clan ruled these lands," the man said as he walked over. "Last I checked," the girl's younger brother said, "the daimyo of the land of fire rule these lands. That idiot rely on samurai now. They stand no chance against ninjas." Naruto saw his moment as they were distracted, as his feet gripped into the ground as he turned, before he shot off, blurring through hand sign. But guys, if you end up right here, if you want the next person to do, Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in your social media platform. But I'm off for now. See you guys soon. Peace, guys.